of Intermediate District 287 is to be the premier provider of innovative specialized services to ensure that each member district can meet the unique learning needs of its students. I'm Caroline Long. I'm with District 281, which is in Robbinsdale.
Good evening, I'm Michael Birdman. I represent Edina Public Schools.
Keith Tate from Osseo Area Schools.
Mike Remical from Minnetonka Public Schools. Rich Zeck, Brooklyn Center.
Ryan Roth from West Tonka.
Kim Ross from Eden Prairie.
Shannon Andreessen representing Hopkins Public Schools.
Ann Casey, proudly representing St. Louis Park.
Dan Chinestra, Wayzata Public Schools.
All right, thank you, everyone. The first item on our agenda is to approve our agenda. Is there a motion to approve the general meeting agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Shannon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. All in favor? Oh, any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries. Then we have next on our agenda, audience opportunity to speak. I don't think we've had anyone sign up tonight. Thank you. Then we have our consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Kim, second by Shannon. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the motion carries. All right, our most exciting part is share the success and recognition. And we have Principal Alexia Poppy Finley from West Education Center to introduce our April 2025 Above and Beyond recipient.
Yes. I see you up there, Ms. Thompson. Good evening, Chair Casey, Superintendent Dowd, and school board members. My name is Alexia Finley, and I'm the building principal at West Education Center. I just saw you recently, a month or two ago, to celebrate a student. So this is awesome. Tonight, we recognize Michelle Thompson, student safety coach at West Education Center, as our Above and Beyond winner for May. Ms. Thompson has served her whole career at West Education Center. She started in 2007 as an educational support professional. Then in 2017, she became one of the first to pilot the student safety coach model. Ms. Thompson exemplifies unwavering dedication to student success, equity, and the well-being of our entire school community. She consistently supports students in achieving academic success through personalized guidance, thoughtful interventions, and a deep understanding of our individual student needs. She is a cornerstone of our behavior team, leading with both compassion and clarity, always prioritizing what's best for students while supporting staff in the process. She's a tireless advocate for equity and inclusion. Ms. Thompson leans into courageous conversations with both staff and students, helping create a school culture where all voices are heard and valued. Whether it's mentoring new staff, supporting and hiring decisions, or leading training sessions, she ensures that our team is equipped, informed, and unified in our mission. Social emotional learning and safety are top priorities for her. From steady, calming support during student crisis to fostering safe community spaces, her presence is both grounding and inspiring. She is the person who will quietly organize food for staff to lift morale, creating welcoming common areas, and step in wherever help is needed, often before anyone even asks. What truly sets her apart is the heart and humor she brings to our building every day. Even on the toughest days, her ability to lighten the mood, connect with others, and recenter the team is a gift to us all. Ms. Thompson is more than deserving of this recognition. She is a vital force in making our school not just a place of learning, but a place of belonging, healing, and growth for students and staff alike. It is my honor to introduce you to Michelle Thompson.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Marcy, Miss Poppy, and other district board members. I just want to thank you guys for honoring me the Above and Beyond Award this year. My co-workers, I see you out there also, Tanya, thank you also. But it is an honor and I am glad to work with 287. Like she said, I started at option program at West Education back in We used to call it Brent Road back in 2007 as a EA and pilot the program for the SSC being the first female SSC. Got to get that up. But yeah, I am thankful to be part of 287 school district, and I'm honored to have this award as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Is there any board member who has a question or a comment? Besides congratulations and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for your dedication
Yes.
to the district and your students and the program. And I love to hearing people who've been with something at the beginning and they're stuck through, because I'm sure it's not always easy. And the fact that you're able to do that says a lot about you, but hopefully a lot about us as well. And I'm glad that the partnership can recognize such a talent. So congratulations.
Thank you.
It was wonderful getting to meet you the other day. Well done. We're very happy for you.
Thank you.
Well said, Michael and Dan. Thank you and congratulations. And you're welcome to stay and watch the rest of our board meeting, but you don't have to. Thanks so much, Ms. Thompson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a
Principal
good
Poppy
evening.
Finley.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we don't have any items on our superintendent's report or our instructional report, so we'll go to business services and labor relations. And we have Brian Schultz, our Executive Director of Business Services and Operations, who's going to provide an overview of the March 2025 monthly finance reports, which will be asked to approve as an action item tonight.
Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Dowd. We need to get that pulled up, but I'll just give a little background. I'd like to do this for our quarterly ones because we do it slightly different. Each month you get on the consent agenda, just the monthly financials that you see in the packet tonight as well. But every quarter we like to do a more formal presentation to the board just to give for our listening audience to get a little bit of more background around it as well. And just in case there's questions from the board, we can kind of go over those. Now we're in the third quarter of fiscal year 25, so through March of 25. So this will be for the period of January 1st through March 31st for this report. And then the packet was the March information for all the detail for the month.
So far, it sounds great.
Yeah. I'll be still working on it. A lot of you maybe have it. I'll just start with the first slide. It's talking about our revenue and expenditures through March of 25. So overall, we've collected just under 81 million of the general fund budget, which is about 83% of the total budget, which is slightly below where we were the last 2 years at this point in time, but very close. On the expenditure side, we've spent just over $81 million, so about 64% of the budget, which is slightly above. So that's slightly different than we were on previous ones, but a lot of it can be timing from month to month based on receipts, payments from the state, et cetera. So, but overall, we're at a great point through this point of the budget. Then we have our investments. So currently, we have about 28.2 million in general fund investments, which is a great luxury to have now with higher interest rates. I brought this up at a previous board meeting. I just want to bring it up again. About 4 years ago, we collected about $30,000 total interest revenue in that fiscal year. So fiscal 20, roughly. 21. Thank you very much. In fiscal 21, last year we collected about $1.8 million And this year, we're already a little over 1.4 million, and projecting that out, it'll be 1.8, 1.9 by the end of the year. So that's significant when you think of the interest rate environment and when we have a fund balance and a cash reserve, which is great, that we can collect those types of funds, which just help control costs and help fund programs within the district's budget. So for the current month, we collected just under 100,000 in interest and dividends. And then we took out 500,000 or $5 million for general cash flow, just for payroll, et cetera. We always project out a year of what our cash flow needs are, invest to what the needs are over the fiscal year so that we can maximize those interest revenues. So that's just pulling some money back into meet the financial obligations.
Just recognize on your slide, you didn't put the parentheses around the 5 million, so it looks like
Oh,
it's
I
an
did
add,
not.
not a
You're right.
reduction, just a
Correct.
point of
Thank you.
clarification.
Yep. Then we also have investments in our construction fund for the long-term facility maintenance fund that we did. There's still about $2.8 million remaining there. We earned 7,000 in interest, and then we had draws of about 52,000 just for some construction costs. A lot of these funds are spent during the summer for larger projects, which we do have a couple. You've seen the bids come through this year. So a good chunk of these funds will be spent this summer, and then we'll have some more the following summer, which will probably use up all of those bond funds. And here's just a graph of our cash flow throughout the year for the last 3 fiscal years. So the green bar, the line is the current fiscal year. So you can see we've started out very well for the beginning of the fiscal year, and we're kind of going in between the two as of March. Part of that was our CEDRA expenditures were a little high earlier in the year, and then you do an adjustment or you clean them up in January, and then the state pulls new figures. Well, ours, when we clean them up, got the amount down with some of the revised budget as well. Our metered payments are slightly lower. So it's not that we're concerned with where we're going with cash flow. It's just a difference in metering of when we got the payments. So in essence, we got a little more money earlier in the year than maybe we should have, which with the higher interest rates is probably a good thing. But it's not a concern that we're having. We should again trend similar to what we have the past couple of fiscal years. On the receipts and disbursement side, accounts payable, 5.2 million. And then payroll, which is pretty typical of this range. It's pretty consistent throughout the year, a little over 3.5 million for a total disbursements for the month of 8.8 million. And then the receipt side, this is slightly lower. And again, this is just with the metering of payment from MDE. It was about 3 million less than it was the previous March. But again, not to be of a concern, it's just a change in when we receive it throughout the fiscal year. And then with enrollment and average daily membership. So in our ALCs, we're currently 22 over where we were at this point last year. So the numbers are holding very consistent to what they've been reported when I was here in December. We're not seeing some significant changes. With Northern Star Online, that's one of those that does continue to increase right now. In December, that was less than it was the previous year. But those enrollments continue to increase as students register, and they'll continue to grow even a little bit longer or closer to the end of the year, which is a little different than our typical programs. Career and Tech Education is 29 over where we were this point last year. And again, I mentioned that we did add a couple of new programs at CTC, which we're hoping to see some more of that growth next year as we're adding some more programming there as well. So hopefully this will be a continued trend for that program and location. Special education is 47, higher than it was the previous year. And as you saw with some of the budget assumptions, we're seeing growth there going into fiscal 26 as well. So this will continue into next fiscal year. And then care and treatment, we're 9 higher than last year at this point in time. And that's one that can fluctuate. It's really based on a need in which students are enrolled at that time that need that program. And most of these are very close to budget. The farthest one off would be special education. We're about 40 under what we had projected in the budget at the time. But again, typically estimate a little higher within our budget to make sure that we can handle additional referrals from member districts throughout the year. And that's typical of each fiscal year. And that's what I have for the March update. Are there any questions from the board?
I had a question about cash flow. If you can go back to that slide real quick. I'm just curious as to, as you project out the final quarter of the fiscal year, do you see it kind of hovering around that 35 million level, which you saw last year, or whatever year that was in orange? Is that what you expect to see, or do you feel any risk or concern in the last quarter it dropping below that level?
I don't.
Okay.
So when the MDE ended up adjusting,
Yep.
when they really catch up quick. So in March, we didn't get any payments. So there's you see that bigger drop.
Yeah.
Now, when you go, there's a cash flow that they have out on the IDEAS report on MDE's website. We'll start getting $4 million payments again. So we'll be very similar to that 35, between 30 and 35.
Okay.
Million.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? As an action item? Seeing none, I'll call for a motion to approve the March 2025 monthly finance report.
So moved.
Moved by Michael. Did I hear a second over here?
Second.
Second by Brian. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Under board business, we have several policies and most of them are 4 or 5 are action items. And then the last one is going to be a first reading.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this over to Superintendent Dowd.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, so we'll start with policy 524.5, personal electronic communication device policy. This is our cell phone policy, just as a reminder that we pulled out. There was no requested changes after the first read, so I'm recommending an approval.
Okay, any further comments or questions on this one? All right. Is there a motion to approve policy 524.5, personal electronic communication devices policy as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Shannon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. We have Mike and Michael. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the motion carries. And next we have 524 internet acceptable use and safety policy.
Madam Chair, so we had a first reading. There were no recommended changes after that, so I'm moving to approve policy 524, internet
right.
acceptable use.
Thank you. Is there someone who would move this policy?
So moved.
Moved by Kim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Caroline. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the motion carries.
Okay. The next policy is policy 603, curriculum development policy. Again, no corrections after the first reading, so I'm recommending move for approval.
Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'd call for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Shannon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Michael. I'm backwards tonight. Any further discussion? Okay. You guys just don't confuse me. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the motion carries.
I do believe we made an agreement when you came on the board.
I know.
That, saying, like, first come, first serve.
All right, so the last policy, it actually isn't a second read. It's policy 616, school district systems accountability policy. We did have a first reading at the last board meeting. There were no recommended changes, so I am asking for approval of policy 616.
All right. Any
So move.
I was gonna still move.
Oh, well, then
Any comment?
you missed Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael moved. Did you want a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the motion carries. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so we have one policy for a first reading. It's policy 620, credit for learning. This policy was reviewed by curriculum coaches, the curriculum team, special education counselors, equity department. This policy, the MSBA policy includes language around weighted grades and honor roll, which we do not do in District 287. So you are, MSBA does say you can remove them if you don't do either of those items. And there were timelines to accept post-secondary credit, which, our enrollment process doesn't have a traditional start and end as most districts do. And so that there was no harm to accept those post-secondary credits, we removed any timelines to allow an acceptance for any student depending on when they enroll or are referred to our district. Other than that, I'll open it up to the ad hoc committee to share any other comments.
All good.
Put it up to the board for any comments on policy 620.
Comments or
after the first read,
questions?
or-
Okay.
Okay,
Seeing none, we'll see this again. If you think of something in between, let Superintendent Dowd know and they can, consider any questions.
okay. So, this is my third year in Intermediate District 287. And we have one policy, mandated policy left to update. And so it's been a heavy lift for the entire team. And so there's a good celebration. So we'll bring back, the board asked to talk about the
Fund balance.
fund balance policy. So it'll go to ad hoc and then we'll bring it to the May board meeting and then we'll be caught up for a year and start the cycle again October of 2026. So nice work, team.
Super.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right. Okay, just a couple of announcements, from my end. On May 8th, the 287 retirement celebration will be hosted here before our board meeting, so starting at 5. Everyone is invited to attend. It's very fun. It's very nice to hear the stories of the folks who are retiring. Do we know how many?
I'm gonna
Approximately
look at, I think around 20,
around 20. Okay,
Did
So-
you say May 8th?
May
1920.
8th. It's before our next board meeting. Is that a Thursday?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So starting at 5 upstairs in this building before our board meeting. I just noticed today that the get on the bus dates and 2209 lunch dates are all in the board packet for the whole next year. So go ahead and check those and put them on your calendar now so that you can hopefully come to one or all of the get on the bus events and the 2209 lunches. So you can look for those because I think we're done for this school year. So let's start back up in the fall. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
So we don't have a retreat on the 8th then?
The retreat is, I think, on the 22nd.
22nd,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Excellent question. So yes, plan for the
Just so
retreat.
you know, I
on the
had that on
22nd.
the retreat on May 8th as well, so I'm glad you
It
said.
must have changed, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Got it.
super.
Thank
So
you.
May 8th, retirement celebration starting at 5, and then May 22nd, the retreat starting at 4:30.
Ah,
All right.
now things make sense.
Calendar. Invite out. We'll get a calendar
Yeah.
invite out.
Yeah. Super. You all, I think, heard that we need to change our passwords. And so, instructions on, if you haven't been able to do it yet, instructions are gonna go out tomorrow morning, in the weekly board updates so that you can change your password. I actually did it today and it worked, it was pretty easy. So, make sure you go ahead and do that. Any other announcements that I'm missing? Yeah.
Sorry. So the new board members that started this year, do not need to change the text.
Okay, So that's for the for the eight,
Thank you.
for the 8 returning board members. You need to change your password. So look for those instructions. Thank you. All right, super. Well, let's go to once around the table. Who has something for us?
Well, before other board members who were there jump in, I did just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to visit the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program in Osseo Maple Grove Schools. Just such a brilliant, inspirational time, and to watch students, receive a lesson and, teach us a little bit of sign language along the way. It was just a very, very special experience. Thank you so much.
You want to say anything about that?
I would also say just a special thank you to Dr. Land. She just does an amazing job of presenting what her itinerant services does. I've had the privilege of seeing that several times, but seeing it in action was the first time. And I think that the big takeaway for those that were not there, Dr. Lamb actually gave us a presentation in the boardroom meeting before we got on the bus. And she did that presentation silently. She did it as a hard of hearing staff member and left us in our own feelings about being present when our dominant culture is to speak English, but that's not always the present of everyone that you're involved with. And so she really tasked us and challenged us to be thoughtful to that and how we as the dominant culture need to kind of reach out to others who are not. And it was just a great instructive, not in a gotcha way, but just in a very instructive manner. And it's that kind of leadership and kind of approach that I really felt powerful on top of what we did at Osseo schools. So I talked to Marcy about that a little bit on the bus and got more information about how there's more intention at the leadership team and in the district about that. And I actually used that as an example when I was talking to the Edina School Board on Tuesday night. So it's a great, another shining example of how to take care of everybody. And it's very instructive and informative and a little push in the right direction. So I just wanted to comment on that. Thank you.
And Melissa, thank you very much. We appreciate your instruction and really telling us about, these students and day to day what their education might look like, the struggles they face, and we do to lift them up. So well done to the entire team. Dr. Lamb, thank you for letting us kind of look in for a few moments and watch students take a test and kind of how to prepare for that. It's really a special thing. So thank you very much.
I think the highlight for me, and this sort of speaks to what Michael was talking about, is that we all had the opportunity to learn how to introduce ourselves and say our names in ASL. And then we went around and did that in the room with the students who were the experts in the room, right? And they all watched us very amateurly introduce ourselves. And I think they felt like, oh my gosh, like we are, their eyes were just like huge. Like these adults are struggling to do this. They're doing a thing that we can do, it was very cool. So I think that again, this speaks to Dr. Lamb's planning of this whole event. And I will not forget now. I will know how to introduce myself in sign language. So
And I already did say this to Keith.
You want to demonstrate now?
4 letters. That's all.
I know, it's only 3 because I have 2 ends.
There you go. I already said this to Keith before the meeting, but actually the Osseo Elementary School was also wonderful. The principal and their staff, not just what 287 was doing, but in support of their programming and their students. And as I said, it's very rare that we get to go to a member district's campus of any kind. We're typically on 287 campus. So this was my first time in my years of the board going to a non 287 facility. And so that was really instructive and helpful and so on and so forth. So an extra special thanks to Osseo for hosting us.
At 286, we recently reached out to all our autism families to let them know that their young people are somebody, because a certain federal secretary has said they're not worth anything. And I would encourage all our member districts to just reach out to those families and say that their autistic young man or young woman is somebody. And 287 could do the same. So.
Can I ask a question? When will the, graduation dates?
They're in there.
Oh, they're already there? Oh, I didn't see
They're in
it.
the board event calendar.
Oh, I didn't see that. Forgive me.
No, I just noticed it.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking, especially for our new
Yeah.
members who
Yeah.
might not know about it.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, I put the save the dates for the graduations and the locations and times. I'll put it again and again, this with a sign up. One thing we did talk about is getting who is graduating, so you know, more of your students, yeah, so you know,
Right.
like, so if you need it, there is no expectation that you attend every graduation, so we really want to target it towards students that are in your district, and so we'll give you, not necessarily names, but counts.
Super. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's, for those of you who haven't done this yet, it's the highlight of the year for sure. So, if you can go to a graduation or multiple, it will be well worth your time.
And it's incredibly intimate and incredibly, each place is unique.
Yes.
That's the cool part of it. So just because you've been to one graduation at 287, you've been to one. They're all a little bit different and they all have their own special feel for it. So
Great. Well, seeing nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Shannon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye, and we are adjourned at 7:04.
Wow, look at us.
It's not my record, but.
Oh, okay.
what are you talking about? That's gonna be till like 9.